a little too ridiculous in my opinion. I would like to see a move tutor to add rapid spin to a few more guys, just because that's like a major issue in battling. Is there's only a few spinners, or even just adding defog, either one to a lot more guys, just so we can get some non-flying, non-ice, non-double weak to fucking stealth rock defoggers. Like, we have some pretty cool ones. Like, Flygon's not a bad defogger, but he's not particularly bulky.
Mm.
But guys in that kind of vein, guys who aren't weak to stealth rock, they can come in, get rid of that shit. So, that's what I'd like to see. Just because hazards are kind of a bitch to deal with. I would love to see... I don't really give a shit how you would implement it. Like, I don't need a dream world, but dream world-esque abilities. Like, another round of abilities for all the Pokemon, because there's a lot of Pokemon you can just give bullshit to. Like,
yeah, they definitely need they just need an overhaul on a lot of these Pokemon.
Because, yeah, there's a lot of Pokemon that literally have nothing for abilities. Like, fix that shit. There's no reason a Pokemon should have abilities like pick up and run away, and like those are your two abilities. Pick one. Like, neither one does anything for battling.
And why are there abilities that only work in double battles?
Yeah, that shit's stupid. Like, if you fixed them so they would work either on you in single battles or you and your partner in double battles, I'd have no problem with that. Like, if Healer worked like that, like it worked like Shed Skin but better, that's cool. It does what its own thing. But telepathy? Is there any reason to run it?
Especially because there are only so many double battles in the main game campaign.
Yeah.
And if you're playing... Unless you plan on playing, professional double battles, you're never going to use these Pokemon. Mostly. Like, it's a shame.
Yeah, like, I get it. It's a thing. It does its thing. It serves a purpose. But it's such a limited purpose. Like, I wish you would kind of fix it so it does something in normal battles, too. Because, yes, there are people that enjoy double, triple battles, but it's not a major thing. And it sucks that a lot of Pokemon are just stuck being worthless. But then again, you also have Pokemon that have actual abilities, and they just are horrible. Like Ledian. What are you going to do with a Ledian? Exactly, nothing. There's nothing you can do with it. It's just a bad Pokemon, and there's nothing you can do with it. I don't know if you could give it an evolution to make it, like, not worthless, so at least the normal one could run Eviolite. I don't know. It needs to be fixed. I mean, there's so many worthless Pokemon. And I understand for balancing reasons, you're going to get shitty Pokemon at the beginning of the game. You need those Raticates, those Linooms, those Super Sentra, what the hell that thing's called?
Ferret?
Yeah. Like, I understand. You need those kind of pieces of shit. But, like, they should be able to do something late game, not just be like, well, I caught one, guess I'm going to sell it to the fucking glue factory. Like, what are you going to do with these things? Give them an ability that can do something. I don't even give a shit if it's like a really rare ability. Like, you have to grind for it. Speaking of grinding, I have another bone to pick with you guys. Is how many worthless Pokemon there are in the universe. You have, like, you need to get the correct nature. You gotta get the correct IVs and EVs. And it's just like, this shit. Like, there should be a way to change nature in the game.
Yeah, or just get rid of all this bullshit together. Bring it back to the way it used to be. Make leveling up more simplistic so that anybody can become a Pokemon master. Instead of just the people that have all this free time on their hands to just kill 50,000 Zubat.
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
Exactly.
That there are a lot of people that you need that to more competitive edge. But that is exactly why people cheat in the game. Because it's such a massive pain in the ass. Like, I have no real problem if you wanted to keep EVs in the game. As long as you could reset them. Like, if you had another guy you could talk to and be like, oh, you have EVs here. And, like, fix them. I'd get rid of IVs, personally. I mean, I know you need them for hidden power, but...
Granted, the newer games, they made it a lot easier to EV train your Pokemon, but it's still tedious.
Yeah, like...
Like, it's not nearly as tedious as killing 50,000 Zubat in a row. The punching bag thingy you can do. A huge improvement, but it's still tedious as hell.
Yeah, like I wish once you hit 100, you could take them to like a Poke Gym, and they'd pump them up, and you could change their EVs and IVs and set them however you want. And like you couldn't get that until you beat the Elite Four the second time. And like once you beat like the Elite Four once, they send you somewhere else. You go do like that side mission, come back. There's even Elite Four that are all level 100. And you have to beat all their Pokemon. Then they'll unlock the Super Poke Gym. Then you go in there and you can set your IVs and EVs. Cool, whatever. I don't give a shit. Because until you beat the game and get your Pokemon level 100, you're not doing competitive battling anyways.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to in the end. Is if you have a Pokemon, let's say you have Greninja. Greninja is a fast Pokemon, so you always want to trade up its speed, and then it can be used viable in either special attack or physical attack. And if you get one that has the nature that
Like a minus speed.
Yeah, if it minuses its speed,
you might as well not run it. Like, you're just going to sit there and keep clicking the game off and on until you get the right nature. Like, that's not fun. That's stupid. There's nobody who can tell me, oh, I really enjoyed sitting here going, and I'm making that much faster. It's more like...
I mean, that's the reason why we have things like the action replay. It's why we had...
Fuck.
You know, like, even I've used action replay before, and then Nintendo got caught onto that, so they made the 3DS, and they made it virtually impossible to add things like that. I think they did make a new one, though. They did make a new action replay that gets by Nintendo's shenanigans, so you can actually cheat to get what you want in that. Obviously, if you can't use them in tournaments or anything.
But I gotta say something about that, because I keep hearing stupid people on the fucking line. They're like, if you cheat a Pokemon, you're ruining it for everybody else. Like, no. Fuck you. If you're not, like, I could understand if you're, like, reading illegal moves on your Pokemon and somehow that was getting through, like, the check thing. Sure. That's fucking weird.
Which, by the way, there's a very high chance that would never happen.
Yeah, like, you'd have to hack into, like, the fucking system and change shit. Like, alright, if you're doing that kind of weird shit, like, I know you could do it in the old games. Like, you could fucking hack the game and have, like, Pokemon that they had, like, ridiculous attacks and shit. Like, that was a thing. I can understand that. If you're like, well, this guy's a douchebag because he's got a shiny Arceus. Like, Arceus was released. People can have an Arceus. If you're playing with somebody and they have an Arceus, doesn't matter that he's shiny. Just because you have the time, energy, money, the situation, whatever it is that you can go to a Pokemon event and get this guy, doesn't somehow make you so fucking cool that nobody else should be able to use it. Like, that's like the ultimate douchebag move. That'd be like if we were playing... Because I'm watching football right now, let's say we're playing Madden. And because I know John Madden, I don't know John Madden, but let's just say for the sake of argument, like, I get to the Super All Madden team and he sends it to me and I've got, like, the fucking greatest team ever. I just keep kicking your ass online. You're like, well, that's unfair. Well, yeah, but I live in New York and I know John Madden, so fuck you. I get to go to the Pokemon contest and I get these fucking... I get a Salamence that knows Wish. So fuck you. So to me, fuck you if you believe like that somebody hacking Pokemon is some sort of evil on the universe that's somehow ruining Pokemon to you. Like, grow the fuck up.
Yeah. Anybody who hacks Pokemon that way is just simply trying to get past the bullshit so they can have as much fun as everybody else.
Yeah, like, just because you live in New York or Japan or wherever the Pokemon event is going to be held, that makes it so much easier for you, or if you want to piss away a whole bunch of money to travel, that's on you. Have fun. I mean, you get to go and enjoy it. You get to be around other people that enjoy Pokemon. Enjoy it. You shouldn't have to only be able to enjoy Pokemon if there's a whole bunch of people that can't. Like, that is the ultimate in douchebaggetry.
And what pisses me off, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I mean, I'm pretty much done with my thing.
Nintendo, basically what they did to screw over Pokemon fans, because there was a group of people that did a thing where you could make special files on your computer and you could transmit them over online into the GTS in Diamond and Pearl. And yeah, it was all the DS versions of Pokemon. And you could have all the AVs you wanted the moves you wanted, and these were Smogon-based Pokemon, so you could have them preset with moves that, Smogon made. And, or if you knew how to do it, which I learned eventually, I don't remember how to do it anymore because you can't do it anymore, which I'll get into. You could make Pokemon, have moves that you want. And there was a way that you could tell if this Pokemon was legal or not. So that way, you could have the right kind of moves, you could have the right AVs, everything you needed to make sure this Pokemon was legit, and you could use it in a tournament. Then you could send it, you could get it, and you could put it in your thing, send it to the newer games. Obviously, you couldn't get it for Pokemon X and Y, because Pokemon, the Nintendo was very... They put in a lot of stuff in the 3DS so that you couldn't do that. But the dick move that Nintendo did is that they shut down DS Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So that way you couldn't even trade Pokemon in the DS. And I understand, it's so that, they... because nobody's playing those games anymore. That's a fucking lie. They did it simply so people couldn't use that Pokemon hacking tool.
Because, in my opinion, it doesn't hurt you. I mean, I don't understand how it could possibly hurt you, but in my opinion, Pokemon should be about you. Are you a better trainer than someone else? Not, do I have 8 hours a day to sit around and slowly IV my Pokemon? Do I have 8 hours a day where I can slowly breed to get max IVs? To get the hidden power I need, to get all this other bullshit. I'm sorry, if you have that much time on your hands...
Good for you.
Sure,
not everybody
that's
else
not what
does.
I was going to say, but...
Not everybody else does, and that doesn't make you better than anybody.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, that's why I think Showdown... I enjoy Showdown. I don't buy Pokemon games anymore. Because Showdown has it right. It should be literally you and your Pokemon versus guy or gal or other and their Pokemon. And that's it. Are you the better trainer? Granted, there's always other shenanigans in Pokemon. The hacks, the min-max, all that shenanigans that I truly fucking hate. Because fuck min-max. I can deal with hacks, but fuck min-max. So, I feel like that's what Pokemon is at its core. It shouldn't come down to, oh, well, you might have all these cool Pokemon, and you might know everything there is to know about competitive battling, but you're not properly EV'd, so guess what? I'm going to beat you with my fucking ridiculous team. Because, granted, that is a kind of a problem on Showdown of people that watch PokeTubers and just run, ridiculously hoary teams and just stupid shit. I'm sure you heard my rants in the other Pokemon videos. And that's annoying, and it if anything ruins the game.
Yeah.
It's those kind of people that just don't enjoy Pokemon that must win. And I can understand if you're like, oh, this guy, he hacks his Pokemon to do this. But I mean, the vast majority of people who hack Pokemon are just hacking Pokemon so they can play competitively, but don't have fucking years to play one game.
And contrary to popular belief, and Pokemon has figured this out by now, which I'm thankful for, but a lot of people on the street don't know, most of the people who play Pokemon are our age, are the people who grew up in the 90s with the original Pokemon games and have played it to this day.
Yeah, especially when you look at competitively, not to cut you off, but yeah, you have kids that play competitively, and I'm sure there's a few of them that are legitimately play competitively, but I'm assuming most of them are somebody's kid that also plays.
Yeah, I know...
I just can't imagine you got into competitive Pokemon at 7, and somebody in your family is not also in competitive Pokemon. I just can't imagine that.
I don't know how old the current world champion is. Gotta give props to that kid.
Yeah.
He, and this is what I'm glad that Pokemon has kind of slowly come to where I want it to be, because back in the day, you could make a team of fucking anything. If you're of the 150 Pokemon out there, it was about which Pokemon were your favorite, which one did you get to level 100, and just have fun battling your friends. This guy, this kid, his claim to fame is he...
Oh, Sojin Park? Sojin Park?
Yeah. He was able to win championship with the help of a Pachirisu. And if you play competitively, it's not exactly the world's greatest Pokemon.
Well, to be fair, he's also playing doubles.
Yeah, I know.
And in doubles, it kind of serves a purpose because electric is a really good defensive typing, especially in that it's flying. So you're like, or no, it's not flying. You're right. I can't remember what item he ran on it though. I think he ran a berry or something, but he was running it as kind of a special defensive. The ability that pulls all attacks to itself, and then he could like sweep with his other thing. So it served a purpose to his team.
Yeah,
it's not something like I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, Patchy Rice is apparently good," doing on their like regular singles team, and they're like, "Oh, I don't understand how he made this good." It's because it's a completely separate thing.
Yeah. But still, I mean, like a lot of people don't know that, and
But yeah, I do. I personally, I would say 80% of my Pokemon are completely my creation.
Yeah.
I watch other Poketubers, as a lot of people call them, and I'll see their sets, and if I do use their sets, I shout them out. But for the most part, I have more fun making my own stuff. Like, my personal favorite Mega as of right now is Pidgeotto, or Pidgeot, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know anybody's playing it. Like, I haven't seen a Poketuber. I haven't checked BT, so maybe he's using it. I don't know. I haven't checked it in quite a while.
I know he's been playing a lot of Oris.
Oh, is he?
Lately. Now that he's able to actually play the game on YouTube.
That's cool.
So
I don't know if he had played any Showdown. I haven't checked it out.
He hasn't played a lot of Showdown. It's mostly a little Oris.
But yeah, so I mean, in my opinion, you'll enjoy Pokemon a lot more if you use shit you like and you slowly make it better by going, this set's not very good. Like, I really wish I had this to counter this because that is a problem. And you work that way. You use your mind. You go, how can I beat this? Not, well, here's 6 Pokemon that are all really good. Let's go play.
And that's something else that Showdown does. If you have a Pokemon that you have, and there's just something about it, like you originally trained it with higher speed over its attack power, and you realize maybe I should switch it up. In the game, in the main cartridge game, you can't do that. Once you've trained in the thing, it's donezo. You have to stick with it. Or if you don't like certain attacks,
yeah.
And if you ran out of fucking heart scales, you had to go on a fucking mission to find more heart scales to teach a move it had before.
Yeah, but alright, so enough bitching at Pokemon, and here are some wishes we have moving forward for Pokemon. Megas we'd like to see. I'll throw Chudge out first. Well, alright, we're eliminating a couple off the bat. Everybody wants Mega Starters. Mega Starters, Game Freak, work on it.
Yep. Obviously, I don't know why new gen starters. Why aren't there any? Why is that I don't understand. They're Pokemon too. They deserve fucking megas.
Oh, any of the Gen 6 guys, yeah, I agree with that. Any Pokemon in particular, in your opinion, really need a Mega?
Mega or just regular evolution. I think people are getting swept up in Mega evolutions, but I think there are a lot of one-stage Pokemon that deserve regular evolutions. Like, I don't know, man, I'm trying to think of some off the top of my head. Like, honestly, I kind of wish Bayonet had just a regular evolution. I think he would have looked really cool if he was able to look different. Like I said, a lot of 2 or 1-stage Pokemon. Farfetch'd is one that definitely needs one. Dunsparce is one that needs one.
Well, yeah, all those shitty guys, Stantler.
Girafarig.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that aren't viable competitively, that have really just not the greatest move pools, not the greatest stats. Give them a evolution or mega evolution to change one of those things.
Yeah, I would say most of those guys could use an evolution, so you can throw EV Light on them in the main game and use them. So I have no problem with that. Moving into Megas, I'm going to say weak armor Mega Slack King. I think he has the stats already. I mean, you give him a very, very small boost to speed. he's good to go to be a mega. Give him weak armor, so he has kind of like a shittier ability, but at the same time, it's worthwhile. Because right now,